All right, Ron DeSantis, once again, is putting on a clinic for us and for other Republicans, showing how it's done. This is like episode 500 of Ron DeSantis showing how it's done. So this is worth really thinking about and looking at, because it's very rare that we see this from Republicans. In fact, we've seen Republicans many times, many examples, especially governors and especially in the last several months, caving immediately because of pressure from the left, and especially pressure from corporations, and especially corporations in their own states that donate money to them in their campaigns and whose business, the powerful corporations in their own state. Most Republicans are not, especially Republican governors, are not able to withstand that kind of pressure. Now, Ron DeSantis, on the other hand, has Disney, the most powerful corporation in his state, and one of the most powerful corporations in the entire world, putting pressure on him because of this so-called Don't Say Gay bill. And it's called that because of all the propaganda and lies being told about it. And he has refused to cave. So here he is. This is a video from Fox talking again about this and just showing Republicans how they should handle these situations. Let's listen to some of this.
So here's what I can tell you. In the state of Florida, we are not going to allow them to inject transgenderism into kindergarten. First graders shouldn't have woke gender ideology imposed in their curriculums, and that is what we're standing for, because we're standing for the kids and we're standing for the parents. And I can tell you this, the chance that I am going to back down from my commitment to students and back down from my commitment to parents' rights simply because of fraudulent media narratives or pressure from woke corporations, the chances of that are zero. And when you have companies that have made a fortune off being family friendly and catering to families and young kids, they should understand that parents of young kids do not want this injected into their kids' kindergarten classroom. They do not want their first graders to go and be told.
I'm glad you got to that, because that's another good point about Disney.
That is not appropriate for those kids.
So there's Ron DeSantis. That's another good point about Disney, is that they produce content for children, and now they have come out so strongly in favor of sexually grooming children. And so if you let your children consume content from Disney, that might be something worth thinking about in the future. Of course, we should have been thinking about it before, because Disney has been crazy leftist for a long time. But that's Ron DeSantis. I mean, I'll keep on saying it until it manifests and becomes reality. But he's got to be the guy. I mean, it's crazy to consider anybody else at this point. There's just nobody else who's on his level. And that, of course, includes Trump. Ron DeSantis, what you saw there, he's got all of the upside of Trump and none of the downside. The only thing that Trump has that DeSantis doesn't have is all the name recognition. Of course, Trump is one of the most famous people in the world, and he was even before he ran for president. So DeSantis doesn't have that to that extent. But if he's the guy and he's the Republican nominee, then he's going to get a lot of that name recognition. So that's a problem you can solve. But when it comes to qualities as a politician, it comes to that, like what he brings to the table in terms of his skill, he's got anything Trump has, and then there's a lot of downside that Trump has that he doesn't have. And he's also able to, which I think is really important, using the bully pulpit, as they say, being able to talk about these issues in, you don't have to be Shakespeare. And Ron DeSantis is, and he comes off like basically a normal guy. And that's good, actually. But he's able to talk about these issues in a coherent way. Like, he can focus. You get the sense that you could sit down from across the table from Ron DeSantis and talk about an issue for 30 minutes, and he could stay on topic and talk about it and offer some insight. you know. Whereas with Trump, it's all over the place. He's not able to stay on message at all about anything, and you don't get the sense that he is quite as engaged with these issues or cares about them the same way that you do with Ron DeSantis. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.